It does count. Number one of mother sauces, bechamel. The key principle of a bechamel is it starts with a roux and it's a milk-based sauce. So there's a point of difference between a bechamel and other sauces. Normally the other sauces contain stock, but this is basically just a roux with a flavoured milk. So the bechamel sauce, rumour has it, historically was created for Louis XIV, bringing up this butter to like a light nuttiness. Roughly speaking, it's almost equal parts butter to flour. Cool, and you can start to see where it starts to turn all golden. And that's just the milk solids turning that colour. So add your flour now and allow that to cook out. Turn the heat right down, otherwise you'll burn it. And then the consistency that I was always trained to look for is, it almost should look like wet sand. I think it's a nice way of saying it, but it does kind of make sense. Frothy and foamy, and also a little bit golden. Always add warm milk to a bechamel, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong with bechamel. You'll notice that like we're not slicing the onion up, so it's actually a very sort of delicate way to flavour up the milk. It's not like loads of slices of onion, so it's like tastes like stewed onion, and then all of that will lightly season the milk as it cooks. If you add in a cold liquid into that sauce, what can happen is it'll coagulate way too much, and then it'll take time to bring it back up to the right temperature, and then that sauce will get too thick. So if I added all of the milk at the same time, it wouldn't cook out nicely, and you'd get these like massive lumps. And what happens is when I'm doing it like this, the friction of beating it together gets rid of those lumps. And then you can keep adding little bits of milk until it's the right consistency. If you wanted to just make a white sauce, which we traditionally serve with Christmas pudding in the UK, you'd remove the onions and you'd add a little bit of nutmeg. Or if you wanted to make a Mornay sauce, then once this is cooked out properly, then you add in your cheese. And that would be used to make a lasagna or something like that. It's probably been about 5 minutes. And what you got, this beautiful consistency. Quite thick and rich and glossy, but you can also see those lightly browned little bits of butter in there as well. But what we're going to do is quickly turn this into a sauce soubise. It's really simple. I've sweated down some onions without any colour. So they always talk about with a bechamel line in the back of a spoon, and what does that exactly mean? When I trace my finger through it, the line that goes through is perfectly left inside the sauce. So soubise is just one of the variations of a bechamel. So just blending up the bechamel with the onions. The onions are basically all they're going to do to that is just add this really nice sweetness. They're not going to break down fully because they're not properly caramelized. Okay, so this is our soubise. So just whack it into a pan. Small amount of your soubise sauce. A little bit of leek oil on there now. Just a nice bit of salmon. Very simple, it's not going to overpower any sort of flavour. You could add lots of different things to that. Fresh chives at the end. Maybe you could even add a splash of white wine into the base. Number one of mother sauces, bechamel.
Let's make an